So I finally got the chance to watch the full interview between Dangote and Bloomberg. And I'm here to break down the unsaid part by Nigeria's richest man. Well, at least on paper, because we all know that some politicians are much richer, like Desiani Madueke, who laundered 31 billion, which is multiple times Dangote's worth. Anyway, if you enjoy commentary and breakdowns like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Also stay tuned because I've got a video coming up where I'll be breaking down these miracle pastors and their testimonies. First of all, let me address the obvious. Mr. Dangote is dropping hints on an Oyibo media platform. It's like he was trying to be polite because the quote-unquote cabals were watching. But if you could tell, he was also at the same time venting some frustrations with the whole refinery project. And honestly, I almost feel bad for the guy.
You know, to tell you the truth, it was a it was a monster. Monster in the sense that, like what I keep telling people, if I knew how difficult it was sort of putting this kind of, edifice, this kind of refinery, I wouldn't have started at all.
I say almost because he's a billionaire after all and I cannot relate. So, this refinery project has been ongoing since 2013. And in typical Nigerian fashion, if a project doesn't benefit corruption, it has to drag for at least a decade before seeing any form of completion. Just ask any Nigerian road. They initially announced the refinery would open in January 2024. And surprise, surprise, nothing happened. Then somewhere in August, Dangote said crude refinery had begun. And guess what? Still, nothing happened. I say nothing because amidst all of this, gasoline prices skyrocketed from 950 naira to over 900 naira. The cost of transporting goods went up. And in the middle of this inflation wave, Nigerians who are ever resilient, ever hopeful, and ever prayerful waited for the Dangote refinery to start pumping that gasoline. Instead, like the snake that swallowed millions in the National Assembly, all we got was confusion from NNPCL and Dangote. You see, on paper, in the Nigeria of my dreams, where things actually work, the plan is simple. The Nigerian government, via NNPCL, supplies crude to Dangote in Naira. Dangote refines it and sells it back to Nigerians. Simple, abi? This would reduce foreign exchange pressure on the Naira. It will boost our ability to export petroleum. And maybe, just maybe, 50 pounds will not be more than our minimum wage. So what went wrong? The first red flag, after the usual millions of red flags we're used to ignoring, came when the Dangote Group released a press statement saying on September 15th, they were selling petroleum products to NNPCL in dollars. They said a final price will be announced on Independence Day, which is October 1st. So, while the refinery was supposed to be working, fuel prices on the black market was still above 1,000 naira. One of the funny moments in the interview, which is just a testament to living in Nigeria, was when Dangote described the wahala he faced just to secure land for the refinery. By the way, any person who has ever tried to buy property in Nigeria can actually relate here.
We launched the project in 2013, and then we had a lot of problems with the state governments. It's not the federal government, because we have 3 tiers of government. So while we bought a land, it was in a state not far away from Lagos, and the guy dribbled us for almost about 3.5 years. And we had to now move the refinery to Lagos. We got to Lagos, we had community issues. So it took us really 5 years to start. Just battling here and there after we had already taken loans of about 2.4 billion to start.
In summary, Dangote had to build everything from scratch, engineering, cranes, roads, everything. And he was also battling both sides of the government, state and local, just to get the project of his refinery off the ground. So, if this refinery is such a good thing, why all this drama? Well, let me let the man explain.
Once you are subsidizing something, then people will be blotting the numbers, and government will end up paying what they are not supposed to be paying. But this our refinery will bring quite a lot of issues up there. It will show the real consumption of Nigeria, because nobody can tell you. Some people say it's 60 million liters of gasoline per day. Some say no, it's less. But right now, if you look at it, by us producing, okay, everything can be counted.
The real issue here is transparency. Just like that INEX voting website, which conveniently crashed while doing the one job it was supposed to do. This is show election result. The government doesn't want that kind of openness, because if we knew what the subsidy was truly worth, maybe we would also know what the government is actually paying for it, right? I have a hunch that the amount the government is claiming in subsidy may not be anywhere near the truth. But Dangote makes it clear, though, that the subsidy isn't sustainable. And I get that. You see, because, like he was saying, Nigeria's borders are porous. So much of this subsidized fuel is smuggled to neighboring countries. And again, here's my theory. Who knows? Maybe the cabals and the governments are in cahoots and they are actually profiting from this smuggling. Like I said, Dangote was doing PR while subtly crying for help. How can you thank the government for selling you crude oil, mined and refined within Nigeria in Naira? I mean, what other currency were they supposed to sell you in? Yen? Pounds? I don't understand. This reminds me of that Desmond Elliot Sparkle Bridge that he built for Surulere residents, where we're supposed to celebrate something just because the government did it. It's almost like the government is telling Dangote, Oga, if we let you refine this oil at home, we're going to lose out on all these dollars that we're making with these black market deals. So, what is in it for us? So, is Dangote really the bad guy here? Consider this. Nigeria has been refining its own crude since way before 2013, before Dangote ever dreamed of owning a refinery. Small and local refineries were running smoothly, especially if you go to states like Rivers, the Niger Delta, of course. And instead of empowering these people, what did the government do? These people were shut down and they were even persecuted. So I don't know, will Nigeria ever stop importing petroleum? Let me know in the comments below and we'll chat more in the next video.
I know it's taking much too long. I know they said that it won't come. I know it should be where by now. There should be no tears by now.